What's going on, guys? It's Coach Noob back in the building with another one. As usual, it's going to be jam packed full of jewels. And your time is always appreciated because you can be doing anything but you hear me checking out these reviews. And it's another wild one. It's about a man who killed his wife in surprise and then he drove with the dead body trying to get rid of it. So you already know. Let's get to it.
Hate you forever. I hope you never, ever, ever get out of prison.
During accused killer Brandon Gregory's first court appearance, the victim's mother shared her daughter's fight for freedom, leading up to her brutal murder.
Hey, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, decision making, man. And just hearing the way her mother was talking, bro, you already know, like I always talk about, man, the decisions that you make and how they affect everyone around you and yourself, bro. So he took his wife's life, and you see it, her mom is hurt, bro. He caused trauma to everybody. It looks like maybe her daughter's in the picture, bro. So, you know, just off of a idiotic decision, man, and not being able to control your emotions, this is what it does, bro. It leads you to making stupid decisions, man, irrational and illogical decisions, man. And in this case, something that you can't take back, you can't change it, and you throw your life away, bro, over, something that you really could have walked away from, man, and did your own thing, bro.
Allison struggled so hard to get away from him, and she was so close to it, and he took her away from us.
According to court records, Allison and Brandon Gregory were going through a divorce, and they got into a fight on Wednesday afternoon at their home in Surprise. Police say Brandon confessed to beating his wife to death, repeatedly hitting her in the head with a baseball bat.
It's just sickening. And what for? He is such a coward. If he wanted to kill somebody, why didn't he kill himself?
All right, so they were going through a divorce already, so it man, you already going through the divorce, bro. Just leave her. Why are you still sitting there arguing with a woman that you're not even with anymore? If the move on with your life, bro. Fine. It doesn't matter like if you have kids or anything like that with the woman, you could still be a father to your children, man. You don't have to be with that woman to be a father to your children, bro. To co-parent, to be able to move on and still be an example for your kids, bro. Now this they not gonna want to talk to you anymore. They if they are your kids, they're gonna wish that that they weren't your daughters anymore, man. Because you just took their mother away from them, bro. And you took yourself away from them. Now they don't have any parents. You know what I'm saying? And they said that, the divorce, and move around, bro. It's plenty other women out there. And, like I said, man, being in your feelings, bro, and putting too much time and energy into anybody else, especially, what I'm saying, the woman that you're with, instead of yourself, bro, how you feeling like it's over and there's nothing left that you can do and you can't live your life without her and then it leads you to making crazy decisions, bro. Now you have to live your life without her. You know what I'm saying? And now you gotta spend some time in jail, bro. And now, this is something that's never gonna go away and people are always gonna remember you for doing that, man. Even if it's 100 years from now, bro, especially your children, especially her mother. You could hear the hurt in her voice from that, bro. That's why it's so important to be mentally, spiritually, and physically aware and sane and, being able to control your emotions all the time. So you give yourself a chance and you give everybody else a chance, man, to do their thing.
Allison's mother reported her daughter missing after she didn't show up at the airport to pick her up that day. She flew into town to help Allison move out. Prosecutors say the home the couple shared was up for sale and set to close on May 19th.
Man, and you had some bread coming, and it doesn't even matter if they were like, you All right, so you were there and you in a life, so you wasn't worried about child support or nothing like that, bro. You had some bread coming off of the crib, bro. You had some bands that you was about to be playing with, man. Get your money, even if, y'all was gonna split it 50-50 or however you was gonna do it. You had some money coming, bro. You just threw everything away for that woman, bro, over an argument that turned into a domestic, that turned into a murder, bro. You beat her with a bat, man. And then, that is a cowardice act though. Putting your hands on a woman, bro, beating her to death, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing that a woman can do. I say that in a lot of these videos, bro. There's nothing that a woman can do to you to make you even beat her to death with a bat, bro. And if you feel like that about your wife, then that's a good sign that you need to move around. That's a great sign that you don't need to be with her. It's a if you was asking from a sign for God, that was it. You know what I'm saying? Before it got to that point, hey, and you was already going through with the divorce, and you already had some bands coming in from the house, bro. You was set up. You would have been able to do whatever you wanted to do, and now you can't. And now you probably don't get the money from the crib or none of that. Threw everything away over being in your feelings, man. Stay out of those.
Manipulator, and now he's a murderer.
Court documents reveal grisly details. After the murder, Brandon admitted to wrapping his wife's body in carpet, dragging her into the garage, and stuffing her in the back of her SUV. He then dumped his truck in the parking lot of a nearby business and took an Uber back home. GPS data from Allison's Subaru shows he drove northwest more than 100 miles, throwing away her cell phone and Apple Watch at a gas station in Wickenburg along the way.
Hey, he drove to some store and ditched his car and caught an Uber with a cell phone though. Like they wasn't gonna be able to ping his shit off of towers, man. That's how you know he wasn't thinking. That's how you know he was in his feelings, heard about something, bro. But like I always say, it nobody can hurt you. Nobody can make you mad. Nobody can make you upset. Nobody can make you happy. Anything. All those emotions come from the decisions that you make. And if you're going to be mad at anybody, you need to be mad at yourself for putting yourself in that situation in the first place, man. Because happiness comes from within and everything else does too. And that's just the bottom line of it, man. So you taking out your feelings and emotions on somebody else, it is crazy though, bro. Because that you need to look at yourself and reflect on you and change the things about you that you don't like. Because nobody else could change the things about you that you don't like. Your flaws or whatever they are, bro. You can work on those until you're able to be confident again and get back out there and do what you're supposed to do. But that's when you give yourself a chance. And when you do stupid shit, though, you end up in this kind of situation.
Before ending up at the Burrow Creek campground in Mojave County. That's where police arrested him and discovered Allison's body was in the backseat of the car with him the whole time.
Yeah, because he tossed her cell phone along the way, but he probably didn't toss his cell phone along the way. He probably, what I'm saying? That's how another sign of like he wasn't thinking, man. And then you had the body in the car with you, bro. Like, it's wild, man. That's mental health for real, though, and spiritual health. Like, you don't believe in nothing. You don't have any morals. You don't have any, like, standards or anything, man. If you stand for nothing, then you fall for anything, bro. And this is a perfect example of that, too, man.
We are left to figure out how to care for a 14-year-old girl and support a 20-year-old daughter through college. We will never be the same.
No, it won't ever be the same because their mom or their dad's not going to be there anymore, man. And they don't care about that apology letter that you wrote, man. You'll be lucky if they even talk to you again anymore, especially the 20-year-old. You know what I'm saying? And most likely the 14-year-old is going to follow her sister and be closer with her now. And they're both, you just threw away the wife. your daughters, her mother, that's for people for relationships gone, bro. Not to mention like your side of the family, your mother, your father, and things like that, your friends. So, those decisions, like I always say, man, it affects way more than just you, bro. And especially when you have kids, you know, you should be thinking for them too and for their future. And he didn't care about himself. And when you don't care about yourself, misery loves company and you do crazy things, bro. And this is also an example of that too, man.
Police say Brandon Gregory tried to clean up the crime scene before he fled, and he hid the murder weapon in the bushes at the campground. Officers also found an apology letter he wrote to his daughters, where he asked for their forgiveness. Live in studio, Michaela Marshall for Arizona's Family.
Gosh, those poor young women. Michaela, thank you.
Yeah, they don't care about that, man. And then you wasn't too good at cleaning up anyway, because you was already doing stupid shit from jump, man. Starting an argument with her when you had the world in front of you, bro. You was getting a divorce and you had some bread coming off of the crib that you was about to sell. And, you could have found another woman. You could have did anything, man. But, this is when you think crazy, bro, when you're not thinking right, when you're not mentally right, you'll do irrational stuff, bro. So, and keep yourself, straight and be able to walk away from these type of situations, especially when it's so close to the goal line, bro. Like, divorce isn't the end of the world, man. And obviously it was the healthiest thing for them, bro. But, he wasn't even thinking or seeing it like that, man. And now, shit, who knows what he's thinking, bro, if he ever will or not, bro. But yeah, it's crazy, man. But anyway, it's Coach Noob. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you're digging this kind of content. And your time is always appreciated because you could be doing anything but you and me checking out these reviews. Until next time, I'm out.